Good to have you all here. I know Mary Jo and Lydia, you guys are at a AI seminar, so you stepped out to be part of this. This is great. So we're gonna make the best out of this hour. I'm gonna probably have to jump out about 15 minutes before the end of the call so I can head out to the airport. But I think we're going to have a really good call. Uh, Rosemary might jump in the middle just to talk a little bit about reboot versus reset. I think we can still continue to learn and refine that messaging. But as we said at the beginning of the year, this is also a year of working on ourselves, right? And personal development is important. So we picked the book of the month, and the book of the month, as you guys know, is Richard's book on leadership. I don't know how many of you have gotten it, and or at least you got the PDF, and
Yeah.
you've had a chance to go through it. I just realized today that he knows another Portuguese person besides me. So the beginning of the book is interesting, the story of Mr. Costa, and so he knows two Portuguese person now. I know for at least for sure. Okay, so Mary Jo, I think you've gone through the first couple of chapters,
Yep.
and
Can you hear me? Am I coming across?
yeah,
I just don't
you
know.
come in.
I'm sitting
Yeah,
at a hotel and I've got traffic everywhere. I
no,
just
no,
want
you are coming across really
to.
well. There's no
Good.
background noise at all, so that's good.
Great.
So let you go through the
Yeah,
you know
let's talk about because we're kind of taking these a few at a time. Today we talked
right.
about covering two of the characteristics, right? What are those practices of leaders, right? The legacy of purpose, power, and prosperity. That's his book, and it's important for us to look at each one of us and evaluate it from our own perspective. What is it that we lack? Because if we don't operate from leadership, then who are we in Mannatech? I mean, you can be a follower, but you're not going to grow a business. So a lot of us could say, well, Major, I'm just a follower. Well, I love you as a consumer in my organization, but you're never going to grow a business without being a leader. It takes leadership characteristics. So some of these you're going to say, Mary Jo, I have that one down pat, or but there's always room for improvement. Even as I go through this book, and I've been a lead. I mean, I'm telling you, I led since I was 4 years old. I was in charge of the whole playground at my neighborhood. So I don't know if I was just born with some of those characteristics, but I surely had to fine tune them as I moved along, right? You fine tune them. You become, how do I enhance them? How do I become better? How do I keep enhancing my ability to be the best leader I can have? And that's how I want you to look at this. Even if you're kind of like, well, but look at my organization. I've already been a leader. I've always done this. Just take a look at this from just twist and say, come from beginner's mind and say, is there something here for me? Because I guarantee you will find plenty, right? Each and every one of us can find plenty. So in his book, he's got 10 profound practices to leave a legacy of purpose. Okay. And the first one talks about what? What's the first one we taught in the book? Who's bringing it up?
Vision.
Okay, good. I'm glad you read the book, Al. Okay.
Well,
More
yeah.
important that all
At
of
least
you guys are
I
reading.
have the first two chapters down.
Okay. Good. So the idea is a vision. Good. Thank you, Shane. A vision with purpose. So I'm going to really ask you people to kind of pipe in and tell me what you got out of the book. What did you get out of the chapter? I'm not here to teach and train vision. I'm here to really be
Well,
like an advocate for you. Okay. So, what did you find in the book? What did you see in the book that in that first chapter on vision? Maybe I should
and
first ask, how many of
Mary
you read the
Jo,
book?
yeah, Mary
Yeah,
Jo, I would insert also how does this because you want to look at this book
apply to
also.
Mannatech. Yeah, your
How does it
Mannatech business.
apply to your day to day, obviously in your regular life, but also your business life? I mean, what brings us together is Mannatech. I think it'd be worth thinking about. And even if you haven't read this, how does vision impact your leadership? How does it show up?
Yeah,
Right? When does it show up? How does it show up? When is it important for your customers to hear about vision? And when is it important for your downline to hear about vision? And if they're hearing something from you about vision, what is it that you're saying that will, because it's vision
Inspire,
that inspires, right? So I'll
right?
throw it back at everybody and everybody take a stab at it, and then we can come back
Yeah.
and refine it some. Okay.
And what's that very famous statement? People without vision will perish.
Okay.
Big
So
statement.
that's a big
So
statement, right? And if you think of it from the biblical time, when you didn't have vision at that time, then why would you perish because you have no vision? What creates that results? That's a pretty strong statement, but there's got to be something to it, right? What perishes when you don't have vision?
future,
Hmm? Yeah,
my
your
future.
future. Yeah, your future. Yeah, all the wonderful things you could do in the future do not happen. They die because we didn't envision it. Does that does that make sense? Anybody wants to challenge that a little bit? Because this is also what's good about this process is, there's going to be more than one opinion about those things. So, if you had never read the book, what would vision mean to you? Anybody can take that question if they want to. Okay.
Well, this is fun to just get challenged to be more than I currently see myself as.
Okay.
So there's that tension from what I want to where I want to be, and making it clear. So if I don't have a vision and I don't have leadership in me, which I struggle obviously, uh, when times get tough, there's not much rope to hang on to.
Hmm.
And so coming alongside people with passion for the future in Mannatech helps me keep on.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I can see myself pushing this rope towards somebody else right now, but I really can't see myself pulling somebody up to this yet. So that's the other side, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Stay with it. Stay with it, Shane. So, what kind of vision does Manatech allow you to have? Let's think about if you were speaking about
Mannatech business.
Manatech and what it has. What vision does it allow you to have that you can actually even share with somebody else, that you can inspire somebody else with?
I
It would be
love
a vision
the
of.
I love the part where I can help somebody when they ask me, "Oh, I got a challenge with my swollen ankle." You know, um, I mean, there's I feel like in my heart I have an opportunity to help somebody bigger than what I could do on my own. So with Manatech, I can do something bigger.
Okay, but if you're going to help somebody with Manatech, how are you helping them? What vision can you create for them about what would happen if they subscribe to the same thoughts you have about Manatech? What could happen to them? What's the vision?
They can have well, I like to think of the transformation in
Okay.
I like that. I love that actually, the transformation, because I think of myself in the history is being transformed.
Right.
Um, so
Okay,
trans
more specific than transform. The word transform to me is a generic word.
true.
It trans. Okay, go ahead, Jane.
Um, um, when I transformed being. So one of my things is not uh, getting this part of me out. So,
So maybe you're talking about self transformation. In other words, I'm become a better person. I've
yeah,
become
yeah, you know what? And that makes sense when I kind of try to talk to somebody who's like maybe looking for a change in their life, and I'm still not really articulating, hey, putting this change from my personal transformation into like, hey, this is where I was and how I was, and this is what happened in this company. We had some leadership stuff came along, and it was like so cool. I've been there for 20 years getting educated, and now I'm here to help you get come on. Well, that's kind of like the thing.
Okay. All
yeah.
right. So I think we all understand the concept of transformation, but if you're going to create a vision for someone of transformation, then we got to be more specific. There's a health transformation, right? There's a finance transformation. There's a personal development, right? That's what I'm getting from you, but I wanted to hear those words from you because how we articulate that vision and the clarity that we articulate it with is what's gonna people are gonna catch, right? To what Mary Jo was saying, transformation is very vague. So if you tell me about transformation, I don't know if I can get inspired with just the word transformation unless you say it's going to be a health transformation, it's going to be a finance, right? And it's going to be a personal development type transformation. Ian, you had your hands up.
Sure. Mine's quite short and sweet, but the one thing I've always tried to do over the last 20, 30 years in this industry is give everyone the vision. But most people tend to push it back and they always find out the reasons why it can't be done. The one thing that I love doing, especially if I'm doing a house meeting, is get people to stand in front of the mirror and get them to get the concept that the vision belongs to them. What they see in the mirror is the only thing that can actually really take them down a track on their first steps to their vision. Because so many people have no vision. We say, oh, what's your vision? It's like it's minuscule. It doesn't go deep enough. It doesn't get deep enough that you really are going to make a difference in not only your life, but then to continue into other people's lives and help it continue. But until people get that first step, they'll talk about it all day long. But that
Hmm.
first step is look in the mirror because that's the only person that can, one, give you the vision, and two, help you down the track. Number three, you can help them as well.
Right.
So just that's my comment.
Okay,
Yeah, and I
so
think the importance, Ian, too, hang on, importance here is what Ian is saying is you have to have a starting point in order to have a vision. Does everybody get that? A vision is where are we going? What is my future? What does it look like? Who am I going to become? What is my health going to look like? What is my wealth going to look like? Who am I going to become? Who am I going to attract? How am I going to help change other people's lives? Help other people be better, right? All these things, but you have to start. We all have a starting point, and that's when we stare in that mirror. That's the starting point. And so where do I go from here? What am I working on in myself? What is my vision for myself? Where do I see myself? And that's all of this is so crucial. Otherwise, we're just plugging along, waking up in the morning and going to bed at night. Because from vision comes purpose, right? What am I doing here? Why am I breathing in and out every day? If I don't have a vision of where I'm going or purpose for that, what am I is this just be born, live, die? Or is there truly something greater on my path? And what am I staring at? And what am I adopting, accepting as that vision for my life?
yeah, okay, Mary Jo. So
Mark,
Yeah,
yeah,
Mark, you
Mark's
have
got
your
his hand.
hand up.
yeah.
Go ahead.
The vision sets us up on a different road, if you like. As you said earlier on, unless we know where we are, we can't go anywhere. That's for
Correct.
sure. You have to know where you are in order to go somewhere. And I think the vision sets you up. As you said, we wake up in the morning, we go to bed at night, and so many people and I've been there myself, find ourselves, we can get stuck in that loop. It's a little bit like Groundhog Day. If I can make it tonight, I can wake up tomorrow. We've been all that kind of thing. But the vision is something that lifts us above that what's the word, the fact that it's going to go, whatever happens, the day will come, and we either decide to just be, I often say people are too busy living life to notice how they're living life. They're too busy doing it. And I didn't want to talk too much because if I'm not careful I can talk forever.
Yeah, sure. No,
But
good.
I think
Good
the
contribution.
phrase is without vision the people will perish.
Will perish.
That
Correct.
refers to the leadership, isn't it? And I think I just made a quick note. So vision creates possibility, in essence. With a vision, you see, well, there's a chance for it to be different to me. My vision is that I will be, I'll be president. I will be platinum. I will be a better person in life. And the possibility creates hope. And there's that great quote from Zig Ziglar that came to mind, which is hope for the future brings power to the present.
Yeah.
So I think the vision sets us up on a different road. Otherwise, we're just going to take that same route every day. I can't think of the right words. It's like we go up to another level of living, in essence, I think. And of course, it's not that easy sometimes because life comes along, as we know. And I've experienced it recently. All of a sudden I think maybe I should check if that chicken in the fridge is okay, when actually I should be doing something else, or I was trying to sit quietly. And there was just something else that's slightly relevant that I heard recently. It's slightly relevant. It's the magic you're looking for lies behind the things that you're not doing. I really like that. I wanted to share that with the group. The magic you're looking for lies behind those things you're not doing. And in essence, if you just get up in the morning and you say, I hope I can make it to tonight, then yeah, it's a bit of a Groundhog Day, even though the day will be different. You're just not living with a vision. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and what's really important about vision too is what energizes you in life if you have no vision? That's my question for you guys. What energizes you in life if you have no vision? And the vision doesn't have to be platinum presidential. Does this make, sometimes we go, well, blah, blah, that. The vision could just be, I just want to help people every day of my life. I want to reach people and offer to help them out every day of my life. That's my vision for my life. So every day I might make a commitment. I'm going to talk to at least 2 people every day or 4 people, because it's not about your success in each step. It's about a commitment to action. Action will help you achieve your vision. But failure to act will also prevent you from ever reaching a vision. And that's why we need to value the activity, not necessarily the results of our activity. Because how many of us go out there and go, okay, Mary Jo, I'm going to talk to at least 4 people every day, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 days go by, you talk to 4 people each day, and none of them are interested, and you give up.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're giving, okay, I just follow this up. What you're doing is you're giving the power that you have away to other people. You're allowing them to control your behavior. Does this make sense? I want you to understand it. When somebody says no to you and you get sulky, you're giving them power over you.
Mary Jo, I want to bring us back to the book, because I think as we're going through this process of defining what vision is, I don't want us to forget this is vision that inspires. We are in a business of recruiting people into our world. And I don't mean recruiting from signing people up. If you're doing something big in your life, you are bringing in people into your life. You're recruiting them into your vision. You guys see what I'm saying? So this is how Richard Brooke talks about it. He said, vision, for purpose of leadership will be defined this way: a story of where you are going. You are already going. You are going whether anyone goes with you or not. It's not a maybe. It's not a hope or a best effort or a ridiculous try. It is a done deal. You are burning the ship. All right. So Jet used to say, if you want to, set yourself on fire and other people will come and watch you burn. So basically, what I'm hearing here is our job as leaders is to build a vision that attracts people to want to be a part of that vision. So it's almost like you're creating a movement. You're speaking of a movement. You can't just be speaking about how many, the products we sell, or you got to be speaking of something that's bigger than that, that gets people excited to be a part of your world, because you're recruiting people into your world. Why would they want to come? What is it that you are offering them that they can sign up for? Again, not for the business. What's the purpose they're signing up for? So Mary Jo said, I want to go out and help people. And I think, Shan, you said we want them to be able to transform, which is all great. We're a transformation movement because the world needs transformation in health, in finance, in purpose, which is personal development. So once you have spoken that vision, then people can go, you know what? I sympathize with that. I can see myself in that. It's what I want to be able to do with my life. Nobody ever woke up any morning and saying, I really want to go sell pills and powders. That's really what I really want to do. How many people do you think you're going to recruit into your life if it's about selling pills and powder? 1 in a million. So if that does not inspire and that does not recruit them into your life, into your movement, what does? So I'm going to open up the conversation again from that point of view. What would I have to say to you, Joan, to get you to go, you know what? I'm in. I want to do that. This was for Joan Mallory, by the way. What would I have to say that would recruit you into my movement? What would be something you'd be excited to do with me or with a group?
Maybe that's why I don't have clarity in my vision now, because I know why I came here. Initially, I came here because I wanted to make a difference in people's lives for health, and I wanted to make a difference in my own life. But we're talking something bigger and deeper than that, that's maybe what I have to dig for.
Actually, I would say you spoke exactly the right words. You want to make a difference in people's life by making a difference in their health, because their health is definitely their first wealth. That's a big, huge purpose right there.
Yeah. I think Joan, you're trying to look at the word difference. All of you need look at the word what difference do you want to make in people's lives? And I think some of that definition comes from the exact person you're working with in the moment. Do you guys get this? Because everybody comes from a different place. I mean, I've signed up people who are millionaires in Mannatech. So the difference is different depending on what's most important in that person's life. So how many of us are digging a little bit to find out what that person really wants for themselves in their lives? And then Mannatech can be that vehicle to achieve what the differences they're looking for in their life, who they want to become. Health is always under our underlying premise because we love Amberto so much and we want everybody in the world swallowing it. So that's a given. But is that enough to get somebody to really follow you, or are you making an impact on them in terms of what difference they're looking for in their lives? A lot of people assume health. They look at it as like, well, I can do this and work out and I know that. But what difference does Mannatech bring to that person in their life? And so some of that falls into community. It falls into I want to have people who are inspirational around me because I feel that there aren't a lot of inspiring people in my life right now. You know how many people say that to me? A zillion. How about you guys? You feel the same way? How many times do you come across people that really go, "Wow, she's on fire. Or I want to be a part of her. I want to follow her. I want to do what I want to be inspirational." There aren't very many people do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, Joan, what you're taking for granted that, well, that seems like a small thing. You are a small percentage of the entire population who's actually sitting at home thinking, how can I make a difference in other people's lives? Because, as you just heard from Mark, most people are spending their whole life just going through the motion, right? And they haven't learned what you know, which is the best way for you to stay energized, to keep your vibration high, is to be thinking about others and wanting to be able to impact other people. And Mannatech is a perfect vehicle for you to do that in. Not only just Mannatech, but if when people say, what is network marketing to me? What network marketing to me is, what it does for me, it gives me a platform to impact people's lives, which is exactly what you said. Well, that's a very powerful vision. Because now, when you say that to somebody who's living the mundane life, all of a sudden you gave them a reason to be part of something bigger than themselves. So you're asking them to join you in this mission because we got to help thousands of people. I can't do it by myself. I'm building an army of health advocates, people who are, who think beyond themselves and want to make a difference in people's lives. You guys see where we're going? I'm not articulating it completely, but it's becoming something that people might go, okay, yeah, I see myself doing that. I see myself happy doing that. Because otherwise, as Mark said, life becomes just, you know, Groundhog Day. And how many people do you think are really happy doing Groundhog Day every day for the rest of their lives? Not happy at
And
all.
one of those driving forces, Al, is people don't have a tight community that they just really adore and really love being around. They love interacting.
Right.
Community is I think we go out and what do we sell to people? Our first sell point is health. And I'm not downplaying health. We all know how critical that is to most people, and that's a great thing. But one of the greatest gifts we have to people is community. Mm-hmm. People are very distracted today, living alone, shallow existence. They're not getting fed every day of their life. They're not getting these kind of interactions on Saturdays and have, people that love them and follow them and support them and achieve. I think some of you are maybe missing when you're out there talking to people what we really have to offer.
Oh.
Diane, are you speaking up?
Mm.
Does that make sense? Anyone relating to this? I
Yeah,
mean, when you go out there, when you talk to people, we talk about health and wealth. Those are the top two things that most people talk about with Mannatech, right? Does everybody agree with that? Health and how to make money and how to, be healthy. But what about community? What about personal development? What about becoming a better you? What about the significant contribution we make through M5M? We have all these elements of what we stand for as a community and what we have to offer people. It's a whole panoply of concepts. It's not just, hey, how about coming in and get healthier and maybe you'll make a few bucks. Right? Why are we selling ourselves so short? The package is so big.
yeah. I often talk to people about, do you fully understand the power of what we have?
Yeah.
Here in the UK for £45, it's just, and people don't. There's a lovely thing. I teach a lot, and what I do when there seems to be a sort of a stalemate, I ask the student to kind of tell me what I've just been telling them. so we can actually see what's going on, see what they fully understood. And it's true, people. I don't know how much is it. $100 in the States, or is it $50 to join? It's beyond wonderful. The power, it's the power of what we have with Mannatech. And as you said, it's not just the incredible products and the science behind it. The phenomenal business opportunity. I mean, that's just, I don't think people grab that really, because it's too good. And as you said, the self-development and I've underlined community, and we've seen that especially since the liver reset, and how vital that is for people and how attractive people. So yeah, so if I was giving someone an exercise, I'd say every morning, one of the first things you do, once you've prayed and been to the toilet, etc., is just think for a second the power of what you have as something that is Mannatech to offer other people. I think you'd run out the front door. You'd run out your front door screaming, "I've got it, please." I think you would. Anyway, thank you.
But that's something we all want to look at. How do we help people? We want to help them have a bigger vision for themselves. And when you talk about all these elements that Mannatech presents them and opportunities, we truly are giving them such a breadth of how this can impact their lives. And some of you might be sitting back going, "Well, Mary Jo, I'm not very good in self-development, or I'm not very good here. I don't have a lot of back." Quit limiting your opportunity to you. Look at the breadth of people you have on these calls, right? Ian, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to say that sometimes we have to look a bit deeper than we feel we need to, because so many times the actual deal stealer is partners, it's spouses, and there's so many people out there that if you don't get the connection with both of them, i.e., the community, you won't get it. You might get them for a few days. And the amount of people, I must have at least 10 people who have been very, very successful. They've been that successful, their partner gets jealous and pulls them out of the business. And it's a great shame, it really is. I mean, I think, we've been grounded ever since the virus come around. But I'm quite fortunate that recently I had a health challenge, and it's going away really fast now. And I'm going on the road because I know to build this business, I need to sit down and speak to both people. And I tell you one small story so I know this works. Is this person saying to me, "My wife, she won't have it. She's absolutely not having it. I offered to go to the house. No, it's not going to happen." So actually, there was an incentive on at the time. So I wrote a little note to this lady, not the man. I said, "Congratulations, you've qualified for Monte Carlo," which is where it was going. It's going to be an amazing treat. I say, "I can't wait until the real time and I can send you this card. It's for real." Her husband come home and she said to him, "You never told me about Monte Carlo. Get that guy here." And they called me round, and that's just because I just brought one person to two. And they did qualify for Monte Carlo, by the way. But I think the one thing we have to remember is, what's going on in any particular house. It's not just a case of speaking to one person. They're going to go back and get some knockback. So their vision can disappear very, very, very quickly. And I think as long as you keep everyone engaged, as in the community, then you've got a real good chance of being able to take these people down the track and really help them get a good vision high and pass that vision on to other people. So, my short version of that is, let's in this community, let's don't forget to include everybody, because as soon as you've left somebody, they're going to go back, they're going to talk to their spouses, and if they're not competent, which they're usually not first day, then you probably just wasted all of your time. So bring everyone into the situation would be my suggestion.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a team of people. We're a village. We're not lone soldiers. When we leave people out there as lone soldiers, we're going to lose them, right? And the village starts with, who can we get within the family? And I know some of you go, "Well, the husband hates this, or the wife hates this, blah, 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 blah." That's when I call them up and I go, "Let's have a meetup." I love to sit down. I don't always win in those situations, but they get a chance to see Mary Jo's heart. And no matter what, it's not about just spewing stuff. It's about connectivity. When you can connect with somebody, Even if they don't agree with network marketing, you know what? The spouse all of a sudden looks at his wife and says, you know, honey, I think this is good for you. He may not join us, but now he's a support system instead of it, anti-Mannatech. Because that's hard when you have a situation, a family situation like that. That's why one of the important things for us to do is to get some kind of acceptance within the realm of the family situation so that you're not losing people just because a spouse or somebody else around them is so negative. Our job is to be part of that process as well, so that we can make sure there's some level of support. Even if they don't commit to doing it, there's a support system. They're not going to sit there and, drag the person you just signed up down. It's too tough of an environment. So have that effort. And some of you might be saying, well, Mary Jo, I don't know how to find somebody in your upline, find somebody crossline, find somebody who loves doing that. I probably love it more than most of you because I was a lawyer by profession, and all my whole life was in that practice was adversity, right? It was always people. And so I love that. Adversity, have at it. Come on. Because there's always a way to connect with a person. And our job is to find the way to connect. There's always a likeness, there's always something out there somewhere that can draw a connection with that person. So instead of just being fearful of it, say, there's a way I can connect with them and I'm going to go and pursue that, find out what that is. Right. And that helps. Supportive. It helps get going. All right. Good, good. And our second what's our second practice? Who read the book? Anyone read it?
Is it building a
Vision
team?
that inspires. Building the team. It's about enrolling the team, right?
Yeah.
And how do we do that?
We talk to people.
Well, but you want to listen when you're out there building your team. You want to listen for what? So many of us are so caught up and so memorizing our phraseology and what we're going to say, and we're so self-conscious that it's hard. It's almost like we block ourselves from truly listening to the other person. Let me tell you about Mannatech. Blah, blah, blah. Right, follow. We want to. And again, that gets back to Mary Jo. Where was I when I first started in this business? I was exactly that person because I had all this knowledge and I was just going to spew it all over the place and just dump on people until they're buried under 10 feet of snow and can't move. And that includes trying to convince somebody to step out and do this. Right? Yeah, listening is the key. Exactly, Shirley. It's about hearing from them. We can't lead anyone if no one's there to follow. That's right. So you want to really ask them, listen for their truth, come up with questions for them. First of all, the number one criteria, you know this too. What's the number one topic everyone has the most knowledge on?
Themselves.
Thanks, exactly. But when we meet people, we love to talk about all of us and all of our things, and man, instead of focusing on their number one topic, where they have the greatest level of confidence and assurity that they know what they're talking about. Now, let me ask you a simple question. When you're in a conversation with somebody and they bring up a topic that you've read every book, you've done everything, where's your confidence level when somebody asks you a question about that? It's off the charts, right? You could sit there and talk to them for hours because it's one of your know-it-all things. Hey, that's something I know everything about, so I love this conversation. That's true about when you talk to a prospect about talking about them. That's a conversation they can go on for hours because who do they know best in their life? Themselves. So are we really planting a seed of being interested in them instead of 100% of our effort being interesting? Well, let me tell you about my life. Well, let me tell you about these products. Well, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about, because we want to sound like we're knowledgeable and we're talking about. Surely, if I tell them enough about Ampertos and I spend at least 3 hours telling them all the different testimonials and what Ampertos does, they're going to buy. No, they're not. You just drowned them. But you know what? If you ask questions about their life and tell me about you, I want to know more about you. You're the one that interests me in this conversation. So tell me about you. What do you love doing? What are your favorite things to do in life? Blah, 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 blah. And you have that conversation. It might take 15 minutes, a half hour, who knows, depending on how much the person wants to talk. But now you have just collected all the seeds from them that are the seeds they're going to plant. You can help them plant in their Mannatech business. How Mannatech is going to allow them to be able to utilize all of that, all those things they love and they see themselves being proficient at. Mannatech is like a super business for them because this is what it's going to bring for you. And you can run back through all the things that they're so proud of that's in their life and who they are. And now what have you just done? You've just built for them. This is a perfect fit. That's what they're thinking. But you can't make it a perfect. We go out there and meet new people and we try to make it as a perfect fit for them. And we don't even know what they do for a living. We don't know if they have children or not. We don't know where they live. We don't know what's going on in their life. We don't know their education. We don't know anything about them. And we're trying to tell them Mannatech's a perfect fit. How many of you, raise your hand if you feel that you've done that a few times in your life? Come on, if you're not raising your hand, you're not telling the truth. Okay. You just but that's why it's so much fun that when we share these conversations that we get into, I want to know the person before I want to dump on them. I want to get to know you. You know what? Sarah called me the other day and she told me you and I needed to talk. Wow. So you give me some information about your life. Because how many people give you leads? Now, do you go and meet that person and say, hey, Sarah called me and she wanted me to share with you Mannatech because she just knew you'd be interested in these glyconutrients. And then you went on and on and on. What did you just tell the other person? You're not important. I'm in charge and I'm going to tell you what's important. So in your approach to other people, elevate them. Make them important. Because I guarantee if you went out there and you talked to 10 new people you'd never talked to today and say, how many, just ask them one question. Hi, my name's Shane. I just have one question for you. And they'll go, oh, okay. And you go, how many people in your life make you feel important? Wow. Now you'll get it. Most people come up with one. Isn't that wild? But we have an opportunity every time we meet with somebody to make them feel important. But if we have to be the ones that are the important ones and we have all the information they'll ever need in their life, what have we just done to them? Back to what they feel from everybody else. Yeah.
Can I just add very quickly? I've got my talking shoes
Go ahead,
on
Mark.
now. Yeah, as you know, I've been a professional guitar player and I still gig. Going back when I first kicked off in Mannatech 25 years ago, I was still doing a lot of jobs, so I say gigs, a lot of wedding gigs, and it was amazing because you'd meet lots of people that you'd never ever going to meet again in your life, and often I'd end up sitting at the table, like the musicians would sit over there, and there would be invariably a few people who were there for the wedding as well, so we'd sit with people. And that was when I just started Mannatech, and I made a point of talking about people. And there was one great incident when I was speaking to a woman, and I said after about 5 minutes, I said, so what are your dreams? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? And she actually said to me, silent, she said, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that, ever. It was wonderful. It was just absolutely wonderful. And just, I mean, I'm easy to talk to people, and sometimes, maybe just today we were in a store I just got a lovely jumper, and while Steph was trying something on, the manageress was standing there, and I said, hi, how you doing? And she said, yes, and what a wonderful store. How long have you been here? She said 16 years. I said, well, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get into retail? And she told me her whole life in 3 minutes.
Right.
And I think the most important thing is we're not trying to say, so I've got something for you. So I've got the perfect opportunity to get you out of this humdrum job. No, we're just talking to people. And the cool thing is it becomes more natural because I'm quite a social person. And then one day somebody will say something, as you said, there'll be a little lead into the fact that they don't have enough money, or they don't have enough time, or they're not happy with
Right.
their life as it is. And you can say, like I said to Steph 20 years and 6 months ago, I said, I might have something for you. That's all I said. And here we are 20 years later. It's wonderful. But
Well,
It gets
obviously, you
back.
had more than one thing for her. You had more than one thing for her.
yeah, I certainly did. I woke her up and then, no, I think I said, I might have something that could be good for you. What was it, Steph? What
And let
was
me
the
just
exact word? Sorry.
absolutely.
Sorry.
And here's write this down, everybody, and then I'll take. People don't care how much you know
Okay, yeah.
until they know how much you care. Write that down and start living it. That totally changed my Mannatech career. Totally. People don't care how much you know, because of course, as a lawyer and all my knowledge and all this spew, all the information and becoming a certified nutrition coach, functional nutritionist, so I could do Mannatech better. I just wanted to spew. They didn't care. So I had to come from heart. How much people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I guarantee that will totally transform your process in Mannatech moving forward. Okay, I'll go ahead, buddy. Good to see you back.
Yeah, sorry, my battery died and I had to recharge this thing. But I don't know what I missed, but I just want to make sure I'm bringing us back to I get obviously the book. We're still in the book, right? We're still talking about the book.
Yeah, we're on number 2.
Number two, which is about how, exactly we talked about. How do you enroll people into your vision, right? And I love something that he says here. What would this journey have to look like for you to fall in love with it? What are your conditions of satisfaction? What values do you need to honor? What would make this work worth it? So if you're not asking the kinds of question mark that you were talking about, then you don't know what to paint for them that they can relate to. Because if you stop painting the vision without knowing where they're at, it's like shooting for something in the dark. You don't know where you might hit it. 1 out of 1,000, you might hit it, but you could hit 1 out of 1 if you've asked the right question up front. So I love that concept, Mark, that you shared, and I think it's in line with what you're talking about as well, Mary Jo, which is you got to care enough about them to really ask them what really, what flips they switch. So, um, but and we're getting to the end. I got to jump out here in a second, but I like to throw a challenge at everybody. Um, One, it doesn't sound like we've had a chance to read the book yet for a lot of people. I may be supposing, maybe I'm interpreting your silence as maybe you haven't read the book. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe you have, and you're just not in a mood to talk today. But I would definitely recommend to go back to the vision piece. Richard talks in the vision part about what, a vision statement. We've done the word of the year. We've done goals, which I wish we could talk a little bit more about that to see where everybody's at with that. But hopefully you've gotten into that a bit. Now we're saying you need a vision statement. What's your vision statement? What is this movement you want to enroll people into? Since we know nobody is interested in selling pills and powders, that's not what they come to you for. Mary Jo talked about community. You know that one of the things that are really working for us in a 21-day reset is not just the reset, is we have woken up a giant. And that giant is you guys. When you come together, it's been, I mean, literally just explosive. And that's an amazing thing that we got going. We run another group, which is the South African, same thing. It's just gone. I mean, it's just like a snowball effect. And that's fantastic. And that's something we haven't sold before, right? So in what you are offering to people, and what is the story you must tell them for them to feel like they want to do what you do? Maybe this concept of bringing them into a supportive community might be something we can sell more than we've sold until now. Well, we didn't sell it before because we really didn't have it the way that we have it right now. So I would say for all of us, 2026, our language needs to be different because we have something more to offer than maybe we didn't have to offer in 2025. Does that make sense? But I'm going to challenge you to create a vision statement for your life. And then I want you to also transform that into how you paint that vision to others to enroll them into your vision. So this is my vision. And then this is what can I say that will help other people, that will bring other people to want to enroll into my vision. Because that, guys, when we can do that, your recruiting is going to go off the charts. You're not recruiting them to sell pills and powders. You are recruiting them to do something extraordinary with their lives. So if we can take those concepts, how many of you will do that? Do you think that would be a good exercise? I hope you do that, because I think not only we're learning from this book, but we're transforming what we're learning into very practical ways that this will help our business. Because again, that's the reason why we're all together on a Saturday morning. This is the reason why I'm not with my grandkids right now that are downstairs waiting for me, because my value proposition is being able to do this, impacting others.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I know it's yours too, because if you're not, you wouldn't be here. So great, good stuff. Do you want to continue, Mary Jo? And I will see you guys next week.
Yep. No, I think a great way to polish this off today, Al. Thanks. Appreciate you. So everybody has vision work to do, right? And really dig deep. And if you need some help, contact some of us. We're more than happy to help anyone, because this is big. If you walk forward with no vision, what is it saying? A man without vision will perish. Hello.
Hey, just before we leave, global connection tomorrow, right? Yeah. Global connection tomorrow.
Global connection tomorrow at 1:00. 1:00. Yeah. Lydia says 1:00.
Okay.
You got an email yesterday. You got an email yesterday. Everybody should have gotten their email yesterday. All right. Vision statement. And listen, again, reach out. There are plenty of people here, including Al, who will help you. If you get stuck on something, feel free to reach out. This is important to every single one of us as leaders. We want to help everybody be their best. And so whatever we can do to make that happen, we're all in. Okay. Love you guys. Let's have a great week.
Yeah, have a great week. Thank you.
You're welcome, Shane.
Yes. Kudos. Lydia asked when we're done, and yeah, to close. Thank you, Mary Jo. It's been a fabulous morning. And actually, I read it last week and I was working on chapters 2 and 3. So I was sort of a little bit behind the 8 ball. But personally, for myself, I love a hard copy of a book. I don't like reading it on my desktop. So, but it was still very enlightening. And thank you, Mark, and everyone else that participated and shared. You're all a blessing, and continue to keep on creating that vision. And I think that's so, so important, who we are in this business and who we want to attract. Yeah.
Amen.
So have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And look forward to seeing you again real soon. Take care.
Thanks, Shirley.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Shirley.